This video will show you how to set up and program your ETW series commercial wireless smart timer with the Intermatic Connect app. For this example, we are demonstrating the 3-circuit model, the ETW3CP. The first step is to download the Intermatic Connect mobile application from the App Store or Google Play and open it. If the app doesn't take you directly to the login screen, click Login at the top right of the display. The next screen will ask you to log in or create an Intermatic Connect cloud account. You can skip this step if you don't have access to the email account that you want to use to control the timer. For this example, we do have access, so we will choose Create Account at the bottom of the screen. The next screen will ask you to enter your email address and create a password with at least 8 characters, including uppercase and lowercase letters, a number, and a special symbol. To accept the privacy policy and terms and conditions, check the box and click Continue. A 6-digit access code will be emailed to the address you provided. Minimize the app and find this code in your email program. You can copy and paste the access code or type it in manually. Now choose Create Account at the bottom of the screen. Now that your account is created, you can scan for your timer by clicking the plus button and choosing General Purpose Timer. The app will search for nearby devices and your timer will show up as New Timer. If your timer is not found, check the settings on your phone and make sure that under the Intermatic Connect app, Bluetooth is enabled. When you see New Timer listed, press Wink to make sure the app recognizes the correct timer. You should see the network light intermittently flash blue and the manual light flash a steady yellow. Now that you've verified it's the correct timer, click on the arrow to customize. It will ask you to rename the timer. For this example, we will name it Eric's Electric, and then press Next. The app will now ask if you would like to combine circuits 1 and 2 to handle 240 VAC applications. For this example, it's not necessary, so we will press No. Your individual circuits will be listed, which you can enable or disable and rename. For this example, we will name Circuit 1 Entryway because it will control the entryway lights. Next, we will name Circuit 2 East Lot and Circuit 3 West Lot because those circuits will control the lights for the east and west parking lots. Click Next to continue. The next screen is for adding and configuring any input devices. There are 3 ports on the ETW series timers to add an override switch, photo control, or presence sensor. For this example, we want the entryway lights to be triggered by a presence sensor outside of business hours. So for the first input, we will choose Presence Sensor and then link it to Circuit 1, which controls the entryway. For the second input device, we want both the east and west parking lot lights to be controlled by a photo control. So we will change the type to Photo Control and select both circuits 2 and 3 as the output. We do not have a third input device, so we will disable it and click Next. Now that our inputs and outputs have been set, we can connect the timer to our Wi-Fi network by pressing Connect to Network. Choose your network from the list and then type in the network password. Now press Connect. Your timer will connect to your Wi-Fi and then connect to the cloud. This usually takes about 2 full minutes. It's important to keep the app screen visible during this process. Once the cloud setup is complete, you can help Intermatic product development by letting us know how you plan to use the timer. You can choose not to say or pick from a selection. For this example, we are controlling entryway and parking lot lights, so we will choose Outdoor Lighting and click View Schedule to proceed. Since we have not yet set up any schedules, the weekly view will be empty. For our first schedule, we want the entryway lights to always be on during business hours. Outside of business hours, we want them to be on only when they are triggered by the presence sensor. To accomplish this, click the plus button and choose Basic Scheduling. For the first event, we will choose On to turn the lights on, and then deselect Saturday and Sunday, because our business hours are only during weekdays. For this example, our business opens at 8 a.m., so we will choose Time and click inside the box to choose 8 a.m. For the output, select Entryway. Now click Save. On the weekly view, you will see a continuous line since an on event has been set without an off event. To fix this, press the plus button and again choose Basic Scheduling. For this event, we want the entryway lights to turn off, so we will leave Off selected. Again, deselect Saturday and Sunday so only weekdays are affected. For time, the business closes at 9 p.m., so we will choose 9 p.m. under Time. Again, select the entryway as your output and then click Save. Now you can see a line in the weekly view showing when the lights will be on. Clicking on the downward arrow will bring up the details of each event. For the lights in the east and west parking lots, they will turn on and off based on input from the photo control, but we also want them to be completely off from 2 a.m. until sunrise, so we need to disable the photo control during that period of time. To accomplish this, press the plus button and choose Advanced Scheduling. For event type, instead of On and Off, choose Sensor Enable Disable. For the first event, we want the photo control to be disabled each day of the year at 2 a.m. Because the photo control is connected to Override 2, which controls the east and west lots, we will choose Override 2 and then press Save. Now we need to make sure to enable the photo control again each day at sunrise, so the east and west lots turn on whenever it gets dark. Click the plus button again and choose Advanced Scheduling. For event type, again choose Sensor Enable Disable. For event action, select Enable and set it for each day of the year at sunrise. Again, choose Override 2 for the photo control and then press Save. On the weekly page, you can press the 3 vertical dots on the top right to see a monthly view, input view, or list of timer events. The monthly view includes a color-coded dot for each event on each day. You can view a list of events for a particular day by clicking on that day. As you can see, the photo control, which is connected to Override 2 and controls the east and west lots, is disabled at 2 a.m. and then enabled at sunrise, which is 7:22 a.m. for this location at this time of year. The entryway lights, represented as blue, are turned on at 8 a.m. and then turned off at 9 p.m. The input view shows a weekly schedule for input enabling and disabling events. The green line represents when the photo control is enabled for the east and west lots. More detail can be viewed of the events by clicking on the downward arrow. The output view is the default weekly view and shows on and off events. The timer events view shows a list of all programmed events. To view the timer status, press Home on the upper left. From here, you can remotely turn circuits on and off. To enable the programs we just set, change the timer mode to Auto. The next timer event is listed under the circuit name. And you're done! Your ETW series timer has been set up and programmed, and you can remotely connect to the timer through your Intermatic Cloud account. And if you get stuck at any point in the process, you can contact technical support at the phone number and email address shown on the screen. If you have questions or comments, please leave them below or visit Intermatic.com. And be sure to check out our other videos on YouTube or the Intermatic webpage for more tutorials.